Your plan was just essentially just to get that gun and just it would be
Yeah.
suicide by cop and just
So
walk in and try to
well,
hit as many people as possible?
yeah, and it's important to note that neither one of those places were soft targets. Both places were the school had uniformed armed police officers stationed at all times at the door, and the mall literally had a police station a couple doors down from the food court. So that was factored into my plan. I was going to kill as many people as I could and die by suicide by cop. But the real goal of the attack wasn't that. That was the damage that I was going to cause. The target of the attack was my parents. I wanted to make my parents deal with making me. I wanted to have them deal with creating a monster. Because they had never had to deal with any ramifications for anything ever. I wanted to have them have to deal with the effects of dealing with me. And so I wasn't going to hurt them physically. I was going to hurt everything else and make them deal with that.
And going through all of the story, because
well, hold on. There's an important bit. I'll close off because this is the last bit of that past story. So this is an important section.
Sure.
Of it, though. So now that was at 15, 16. Fast forward about 3 years. Okay. Now shortly thereafter, after that whole bit, the depression shifted inward. It went from outwardly I got hiccups. Outwardly being aggressive towards anybody else and trying to be violent to being more remorseful and depressed about the fact that I had planned it and just kind of it was more inward. But the setting my feet down was a real effect, and so that rolling the clock back was real. So it took a couple of years for that to build back up. Took a while for that depression to spin back up, but when it did, it was more inward. I was suicidal, and so the night of my 19th birthday, I was planning on killing myself. I was going to commit suicide, and I was going to do it by drug overdose. I was going to get a whole lot of drugs. I had bought a bunch of LSD off the streets. I had gotten a gigantic baggie of Coke from my mom and a bunch of pills from my mom. I stole them both. And way more drugs than were needed to do the job, like copious amounts of narcotics. And I was planning on going the night of my 19th birthday, going to that field, and taking all those drugs and killing myself. But the day of my 19th birthday, I was trying to act like nothing happened. I was trying to act like nothing was wrong. And so I wanted to have as good a day as possible. And so in that day, I went to Mike's house. Okay. And I was trying to, I had interventions in the past. I didn't want anybody to stop me from anything. So I was trying to be as normal as I could. And so I went to Mike's house and just having a day. Now, Mike is a very social person. He has a friend group of his own. And one of his friends is a girl named Amber. Okay. And we would occasionally go over to Amber's house and listen to music, watch a movie, and hang out. She was a very friendly person. She was always super nice to me. We never had an issue at all. But she was definitely his friend. But he was like, hey, today we're going to kick it at Amber's today. Right on. That's a great last day. We'll spend it with two of my favorite people, go listen to some good music, and then at the end of the day, go kill myself. And so I get there.
What a thought.
That wasn't actually what happened at all. I got there and I walked into a surprise birthday party for me. I walked into about 14 people saying happy birthday, and Amber had a blueberry peach pie. And I walked past him. I dropped all my drugs in the toilet, and that was the last time in my life I ever tried to kill myself. And Amber's also one of my best friends to this day. And here's the kicker to that story. Here's the real powerful bit of that story. When we left Mike's house, there was no birthday party for me. He called ahead to Amber's. He's like, hey, I'm bringing Aaron over. This is his birthday, by the way. And she's like, oh, yeah? It's his birthday? Let's do something for him. And she had already had a group of friends over. They had already baked a blueberry peach pie. So they're a bunch of artist friends. So they made a bunch of decorations really quick and threw up a really quick Aaron, happy birthday Aaron decorations thing. So I walked in to a fundamentally life-changing experience that changed me to my core that she put up in 5 minutes because her friend was having a birthday.